Róisín Murphy. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Back at the show. Now, I love your new record, obviously, what you played from it there, and it's your first album for 7 years. Now, did you leave it 7 years because that's sort of a magic number of years, and only on the 7th year will you make it again, or was there another?
Well, I had babies, I had 2 babies in between.
Right.
They took up a bit of time. I don't like blaming them. I didn't really have a kind of record that I wanted to make. No, I made lots of kind of tracks in between with different artists and collaborated and so on and so on. But nothing felt like it was going to turn into an album to me, and the years went by really quickly.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody else knows this, but years go by.
Years go by, that's right.
Immensely quickly.
Yeah. Does anybody notice that? Yes, and it was very earnest. They don't know, they were all meant it, I could tell, with that little earnest note they had there. Yes, the years do go by, but your record is great, and your, also, it's called Hairless Toys is a very good title. Rather unusual title, if I may say, so I couldn't quite get... Where did that come from?
Well, it's a mistake, actually. Eddie Stevens, who's been my live musical director all these years and has been on the show with me many times, I wrote this record with him, and I left the studio one day. He needed to name a track. I hadn't named the track. He thought I was singing Hairless Toys, when in fact I was singing Careless Talk. So it's kind of more...
Sort of Chinese whisper.
Yeah, and
Careless
it's kind of
Talk
also
became
like
Hairless Toys.
It's like a sort of psychological ink blot, you know, as well as like, what do you think? And of course it shows people up to be complete psychopaths.
What, Hairless Toys? Yeah. What does it put into people's minds? What does it put into your mind, Richard?
I don't know.
Horror, sheer horror.
Sheer horror. Anybody got any nice thoughts of Hairless Toys there? Yes.
It is a bizarre record, and it's a bizarre title for a kind of bizarre record.
Really. It's, yeah, you're celebrating 20 years, 20-year career.
Yeah.
Well, in music. Do you still enjoy? Do you get as much pleasure from making music? Is it easier now, harder, or?
Well, being away from the whole rigmarole of like touring and making albums and doing this sort of thing and what have you has made me appreciate it more. I think I do really enjoy it now, much more than ever before. I can allow myself to enjoy it, and I genuinely do enjoy it.
Now, I was talking to Kelly earlier, Kelly Jones from Stereophonics, and he was saying that in an alternative life or in an alternative career, he might have quite liked to be a film director or something like that. Yes. If you had an alternative career or an alternative life, what would you, is there something you'd like to do?
Well, this was an accidental career for me, really, truly. And I was thinking I was going to be a visual artist of some kind, so maybe that would have been a film director or fashion designer or an artist or a photographer. I thought I was heading for university to kind of study art, basically, and to find out what it was that I wanted to do, but I got a record contract, like,
sounds like a
surprise.
Record contracts have ruined a lot of people's lives.
There were a lot of them.
Think where you'd be now, or Kelly.
There were so many of them knocking about in the 90s as well, the old record contracts.
What's the next song you're going to play for us?
House of Glass.
Where does that come from?
That is a very... I'm glad you asked me to sing that one, actually, because it's a very personal song, and it's probably the most autobiographical song that I've ever written, and it's really about my time in my early 20s in Sheffield when I started to make music, and I lived in a house with these other very creative girls, and we had parties, and it's a very it's a lovely song. I love
an autobiographical song.
Yes, I've never really done that before. No. Oh, this has happened at this time in my life, kind of thing. But with this record, with this track, I did.
So you've gone back, and I look forward to seeing you in a moment. Thank you for being a wonderful guest this evening, Róisín Murphy.